Mac and wings in the face.
You can hear me. Oh, no. I hope you can hear me. Oh, no. Dental dam.
I forgot what we were talking about for a second. And I was like, what is he doing? I could.
Bringing it back around.
Guys, welcome to another installment into the West Comics special Run It Back edition. We're talking about Jaws. All right.
Sorry.
The Trulies have kicked in.
I think they have.
Yes.
They may have been still kicking from yesterday.
Shane, what do you want, 8 or 9?
The running total.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, from I have full disclosure. On the 4th of July every year, like a lot of people watch Elf and they watch Christmas Story. I watch Jaws.
I do the same thing, Frank.
Every 4th of July,
amazing.
I watch it.
No.
That's
Nice.
like the thing.
It's probably like
Yes, of course.
breakfast or lunch, and then I watch Jaws.
Yes, and like the early afternoon.
Yeah.
Dude, I do that every year as well. That is so
What am I missing out on?
funny. It just
Wait a
it's
minute, you
what-
haven't seen it?
No, I've seen it. I'm just saying,
okay.
like,
It's
what's
just
the?
because
I've
the
seen it.
movie happens during like 4th of July weekend.
Okay, I get it.
And it's just one of those movies that you could just like kick on in like the mid afternoon and like have a snack with. And like, I am with you, Frank. I've done this every year.
That's crazy.
You're
Every
the
year.
man.
It's been a while.
I
Well,
did
plus
not
I'm old, so I've seen it every year
Neither did
for
I.
many moons.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Small world.
Tell me your thoughts when you think about Jaws. Like,
I think of one person only, and that's Quinn. Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu to you ladies of
Every
Spain.
time.
Quint-
I love this movie.
Yep.
I absolutely love this movie.
All right.
Got so many great memories of it. It was the first like movie I ever saw a naked woman.
And this movie is rated PG. I don't know
Yeah,
if you knew that.
Wait, no way.
There was
yeah,
no PG-13 when
they
this
didn't
movie
have
came
the
out.
Oh,
the
wow.
MPAA didn't have like a rating system until Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
And Gremlins. Those are the films that made them put PG-13.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any nudity in
Anyway,
Gremlins?
I don't know.
yeah, they were naked gremlins.
Yeah.
the hot gremlin with the big red lips. Remember that part? Anyway, it was the
hot
first movie that I saw a leg get like float into
Yeah.
frame. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it was the first time I saw what I thought was a real shark eating a
Yeah.
human being in real time. It was just one of those movies that you're just like, oh my gosh, and the
Groundbreaking.
suspense and the way it was filmed, the scene where I always forget his name, the character's name.
Which
Chief?
Not
Brody?
Chief Brody.
Quint?
Not
Scrody?
Quint, the marine biologist,
Oh, yeah,
Robert
he's
Dreyfuss's
great.
character.
Yeah.
Richard
Richard?
Dreyfuss?
Richard Dreyfuss, yeah,
I was
Richard
like,
Dreyfuss, not Robert Dreyfuss.
I don't know. I just always call him Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah, it's Richard Dreyfuss's character. He goes in
He's
to see a
great.
boat that was attacked by the shark, and a guy pops out with his eye out. That was filmed.
And they filmed that scene
Steven
in
Spielberg's
Spielberg's
pool.
parents' swimming pool
No
and they
way.
put milk in the water
to make it look like murky.
murky in there. So it's just like really cool stuff like that.
Practical effects.
And
Yeah,
that
practical
movie
effects,
was the first summer blockbuster that was like, this is it. This is the summer blockbuster right
Matt
here.
Hooper.
Matt Hooper. Thank you. It was Hooper. I really do love this movie. And then the scene with the three of them sitting there talking about the USS Indianapolis.
That was the thing I remember.
Bro.
Probably the best scene in the movie.
no doubt.
It's chilling,
no doubt.
dude.
I love this movie.
It was-
Top to bottom, it's literally the perfect summer movie for me.
yeah.
That's
It-
cool.
It feels like summer.
Hey,
that
there
movie
she
feels like
is.
that. Oh, there's
Wow, wow,
hey, hey, baby. Wow.
Looks
wow.
like-
Vaughn knew exactly what I was
Wow,
talking
wow,
about.
wee, wow.
It looks
Hot
like
Gremlin
every
showing
girl
up on the
is
show
walking on
was
Fremont
not
Street
on
right
my
now.
vision.
The Boulder City Bunnies are out.
Yeah, there they are.
Hippity hop.
That's the Fremont special right there.
Oh,
Fremont
man. She's hot. 3rd Street.
She's hot.
Shane, what do you? Let's switch gears real quick.
Boulder
What did
Highway.
you
Liberty
think?
High School girls.
Boulder Highway.
Shane, what did you think about Jaws?
I thought that it was truly the first, like, they made
Truly?
this movie about a shark attacking people, and it was like a horror film.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty much.
pretty much what it was. It was like it was basically they turned it into a real horror film, like a thriller, like a horror thriller, and then there's of course the scene, you know, where you have that serious scene where where the three men are talking about the. What's so funny? What are you laughing at me for?
No. You said thriller, and I
then
did the.
Sonny started
I
doing
did the thriller dance.
I did a thriller dance. But I'm just saying, like,
He wanted the hot gremlin to come back.
Yeah,
he
hot
was
gremlin.
he was getting distracted. There she is.
No, he has it on the screen. I'm looking at him. He'll put it the rest of the show.
Truly, yeah, it was
Truly
a phenomenon, which you'd never seen anything, and just the theme itself became a phenomenon, which is really what I remember the most, of course. Growing up, as you remember the theme from Jaws, but
I actually have a story about that too.
Yeah, it was just an amazing film. 10 out of 10 for me. The Jaws is absolutely, I don't watch it every year, but not too long ago it was on. Probably like 8 months ago, it was on like HBO or something, and I watched from where it was to the rest of the film. And
you still have cable.
it was great movie.
Sorry,
Marcus.
Yes.
What did you think? What did you think about the gremlin that was dressed in her makeup? How do you think she looked?
Those are great movies. I love those movies. But I will say, first of all, full disclaimer: shout out to Truly. You guys make great beverages. We are not sponsored by them. We would love.
Not yet. We reached out.
We
They
would
just
love to be
kinda like-
sponsored by you.
the more you say the word truly, too. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we would love to. Yeah, hit us up. We would love to get a sponsorship.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Some of us more than others.
right?
Shane.
That's how we get through this thing.
Oh my god,
we got some taste
podcast
testers.
or life?
Yeah.
Life.
We're here to get to this thing called life.
But yeah, so
Electric Boogaloo. Right.
my memorable story about this was I'm a kid, sixth grade or going into sixth grade, and actually this is the whole suspenseful dum 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 dum. So that's done on an upright bass, and that was one of the recruiting techniques that my orchestra teacher used to convince me to become a bass player.
Oh, that's cool.
Because it's so cool.
Because it was so cool. I was tall. I had big hands, so I fit the part. Because upright bass is very can be a very
upright.
It's
upwritable.
It's a very physical instrument, and it's very big. So and he needed bass players. So that's actually kind of little did I know that I was going to change my life, and I was going to be a bass player for the rest of my life. But
That's cool.
F sharp.
Yes.
F sharp.
E F sharp.
E F
Anyway.
Sorry.
Get it right. It's all good.
Let's go.
Get it right. It's open E, yeah. But it's all good. But I appreciate that. But so that was that's my life connection to it. But honestly, I mean, has it aged? I don't know if it really aged to me. I mean, because again, we got all the hallmarks of a timeless film. And yes, it is a horror film, in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
It's full of suspense. You have the practical effects, which are ageless, in my opinion, if done well. And it's just, I mean, and those actors, they sold it.
Yeah.
It's something about, I don't know if it's past the 90s or what, but it seems like the actors that came, before this current era, it seemed like they focused more on their craft more than the current actors.
Like other than Christian Bale, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like they're, because they're so distracted, and I'll give it to them. They're so distracted with other things that they're
doing
trying to do.
TikTok and Steve Finder.
They're trying to be, they're trying to be celebrities instead of just being good actors. You know, that was one of the things that made a lot of the greatest musicians, great musicians, is they stayed and they honed their craft. They weren't trying to do this, that, and the other. They weren't trying to be rapper/actor and all that kind of stuff.
We all want that, though.
Yeah,
That's what I am.
They actually, and I appreciate that, and you see that, and even the older black and white movies, you see that they had to sell these things, and they really sold it. I mean, the acting is incredible, the practical effects. It was just, it was a fun summer blockbuster movie. Yeah.
Fun. Paul, what were some of your thoughts about seeing Jaws the first or the seventh time?
I really adore this movie. I watch this movie on a pretty regular basis too. Not as often as you guys. No, not on 4th of
At
July.
midnight on 4th of July.
But I think this movie colored my expectations. Q Quan saying why I got to be colored.
Wow.
Colored my expectations for films going forward. And the thing I always forget about this movie that I really, really appreciate is they actually got footage of actual great white sharks that is in this movie. A lot of the stuff while Richard Hooper is in the cage, the shots of the sharks are actual sharks.
Oh, that's really cool.
And that's super cool. And did you guys know that I can't remember what happened, But in the book, Hooper's character, when the cage falls, Hooper's character dies.
Oh.
Yep.
He does not live in the book. He dies in that moment. And I can't remember. So they were using the real sharks, like shooting the real sharks, and something about those shots they would not have been able to use if they killed Richard Dreyfuss's character. So they chose not to and chose to have him leave. I might have some of the particulars wrong about that, but that's why he lives in the movie and he dies in the book. But I adore this movie. It's terrifying. And the scariest scene is when they're sitting around talking about the USS Indianapolis.
Bro.
And that's a testament to Spielberg, to I don't remember the gentleman who plays Quint. I don't remember his name.
Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw, there you go. Richard Dreyfuss and
Roy Schneider.
That's a testament to them and how incredible they are. And you just feel alone with them on this boat. And the first time the shark comes up and grabs the chum, and he turns around and says the iconic line, I think
Why don't you come down here and chum some of this shit? Oh, and then he says, yeah, then we're going to need a bigger boat. Totally stepped on your toes, man. So sorry.
Come chum some of this stuff. Is the iconic line that you all remember from Jaws.
I think that
says, we're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah, everything that went wrong with this movie when they were doing production leans into making the movie more intense.
Yeah.
When you actually get the reveal of seeing the shark come out of the water, it still scares Sonny this day.
It does.
When he goes to Universal Studios.
That's what I was going to say.
When they made the actual shark, the robotic shark, and they took it to the East Coast in the salt water, it broke.
Yeah, immediately.
It was falling apart. So they had to use different effects, and he kind of had to think on his feet. Said, we'll have the buoys floating around and we'll drag those around. That'll give the effect. We'll pull the dock away, and that'll give people the thought of like, there's a shark here. There's something going on. The woman in the harness being shaken around.
It broke her hip, right?
Yeah, she actually broke her hip where they're making that. It's all of those effects that go into the making of this movie that make it like, it makes it more intense, and I don't know if the movie would have the success that it did if it didn't have all these things go wrong and work so well to... I love this movie. I mean, obviously, I watch it every year.
Spielberg does a great job of like showing you the monster without showing you the monster.
Exactly.
Yep.
And even letting the music do that. And you hear that...
And it's that ominous feeling
God, here we go.
without showing the actual shark.
That's a 20-footer.
And then you
and
then you see him, and he says, "I'll catch him, but I'll kill him." And for 10,000, like he's just talking to like he drags his nails and the one you got the one woman who hair is all done up and a bunch turns like what? She's all her crazy face, whatever. Looks kind of like a gremlin with lipstick on. A little bit. Looks kind of like that. But my favorite line from the movie is when they catch the shark and all the fishermen are like, they don't even know what they're doing. They got dynamite and there's just 10 guys are trying to get in a little boat that doesn't fit 8 people. And they're talking to Hooper, they're talking in front of Hooper and they're saying like, I think it's a macaw. Like they don't know anything about what they're talking about. And then he goes to the mayor and he says, you caught a shark, not the shark. And he's talking about the bite radius and everything else. It just leans into making this, like you're saying, we make this movie, we make this shark into a monster.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's all of those elements. It's like, it's a blockbuster. It's a horror film.
Movie.
It has you on the edge of your seat. And also it's one of Spielberg's first like huge runaway hits. It's a great movie. It is so fun.
And you just touched on something that what I was talking about earlier about earlier films, prior to the 90s or whatnot. Everything now is so explicit and spelled out to the person, either in CGI or
even
whatever.
in the trailers,
right? And
for sure.
And now and you look at these old movies like what you're saying. You don't need to see the monster to know there's a monster because the inference is there. You have the actors are selling it to you.
Your
saying,
imagination's always scarier than the actual
exactly thing. And so they're letting your imagination run wild because you see the close-ups of the people's frightened faces and you see okay, so something's going down. Something's really disturbing, and you feel that through the film versus you seeing a huge monster coming out of the water, CG, 4K, all that.
People splashing, and
right?
It's
the
honestly
close-ups
creepy.
of people running and splashing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god.
Or maybe like just a little bit of the blood just in the water.
That's some bad hat, Harry.
Honestly, I was watching.
Deeper than
I was watching the trailer for the new Dracula movie, and they show the monster immediately.
They showed him a little too much. I am excited.
And
for
I
that
was
movie,
like,
though.
it looks pretty cool, but it's really
The
good
one
to-
on the boat.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it looks really good. It's a testament to like all the older movies where you're right. You can let the score talk about or show the horrifyingness of the monster, or when you do reveal the monster, it is actually terrifying. Like like you said at Universal Studios, man. To this day, I hate that part when you go in and like I know Jaws is coming out, and I know it's just terrifying, So
It's a tiger shark.
the last time I was there at Universal Studios, like the Jaws thing was it was broken.
Oh,
so he was out of the water.
oh, it just ruined it for you.
He was just out of the water, just
sucks.
frozen. I was like, oh man, they're like, look what he's reduced to, Bruce. So like, Bruce is reduced.
No,
You know what I loved about the
Yeah, it was
like
like,
the three main guys in Hooper, Quint, and then
Chief Brody.
Chief Brody is they all represent different things. You've got Hooper, who represents things from a scientific perspective. He wants to understand this thing as a marine biologist and how it all of that. And then you have Chief Brody, who's trying to protect his community and his family. There's a wonderful scene in the movie where he gets done having dinner with Hooper and his wife and their older son, and the youngest son stays at the table, and Chief Brody's just looking at his son, and his son starts to copy every single thing that he's doing. And he starts to do things intentionally so that his son would copy him, and it's a really, really sweet moment. So it shows us that this guy really is a good family man, and he'd do anything to protect his
And he's
family.
holding that weight on his
he
shoulders
has
about everything that's going on in the town because
everything.
he's at literally a fish out of water.
Yeah.
And the kid is staring at him, and he says, "Give us a kiss." And he says, "Why?" And he says, "Because I need it."
Yeah. It's just like a
Yeah, man.
perfect moment.
It is.
For that. And so you really feel for Chief Brody, and then Quint, when he laments on him, a Japanese submarine took out our ship, and they were stranded in the water for days, and you can hear the bodies of men being eaten from sharks. So you've got a man who's trying to protect his family, a man who's tried to do this in the name of the science, and then the name of the science, and then you got a guy who is doing it as a personal vendetta to a species who killed it's almost like he's trying to not rewrite history, but like do vengeance for the ghosts of the people that were around him. So reportedly Robert Shaw was also drunk the whole shoot.
The majority of the time he was hammered.
Yeah.
You know how good this movie is?
Go ahead.
It tricked me into watching the second and third one.
Yes.
yeah, that's a
Yes.
fact.
The end of the second one is cool. The rest of that movie's terrible.
I will say though, I mean,
Jaws 3
8
is
out of 10.
bad.
8 out of 10.
I will say, I didn't lean into it as much as you guys did because I don't know. I think when it came out, I was not even a thought yet. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I was a little older, but the Grammy award winning, Oscar winning shark movie Deep Blue Sea really is. I'm just kidding.
I don't.
It's really my shark movie.
Samuel Jackson.
You know what I'm saying?
What just happened? What? The Meg, it comes
I like
out
that
in a couple of
movie.
weeks, right? The
Meg,
sequel.
Meg 2.
I watched the first one the other day. It actually is okay. It's fun.
No,
The characters are pretty annoying, but the
you got like, was it the transport?
We're gonna watch. Where are we gonna watch Meg when it comes out?
No,
Sure. I mean, no.
Sonny's always down to watch any movie.
yeah, of course, dude.
Yeah.
This is gonna be Sonny's favorite film, The Meg 2.
So we're gonna do Spielberg. I mean,
got a
let's
You joke.
let's decide. We're gonna watch a Spielberg movie. You want to just do the Indiana Jones stuff? Do you guys think that we do
I mean, Raiders.
Close Encounters? Do we do like?
let's hit Close Encounters. Close Encounters,
Let's
dude.
not watch Close Encounters
Not in like I don't know,
ever.
probably not ever. I don't know. I don't think I've even seen that.
Let's
you have it? We'll talk
Do
about
Raiders, or yeah, we'll
it. Okay, but probably
Saving
Raiders.
Private
All-Star.
Ryan.
yeah, let's do Saving
Maybe.
Private
Oh my
Ryan.
god!
I watched that the other day.
The Fablemans.
Bruh.
Just kidding.
I actually haven't seen
I
it.
liked The Fablemans a second.
You did? You didn't like it?
I
You
liked it a
watched
second time. First time I didn't like it. Second time I was like, not bad.
I fought to get through it the first time.
What's your no, Sonny, go ahead. Your grades. Sorry.
What do you mean?
You
Oh,
want to do the grade?
what do you give it out of 10?
10 out of 10.
Really?
There's no
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 notes.
complaints about this movie.
Yep, 10 out of 10 for me as well.
It's the first Frank 10 out of 10 ever. 10 out of 10.
Hey, it was my first 10 out of 10
What
too.
about you guys?
It's wild. I give it a 10.
Yeah,
It's
I would echo the
wild.
same. There's no real, I mean,
No complaints.
no complaints. Yeah, not at all.
Sonny, what about you?
I don't know, like 7.
Okay.
Cool.
You sound like
Alright.
Shane when we were talking about Oppenheimer.
I knew he wouldn't forget that.
Guys, we hope you have a great night. We're out cruising for Boulder City Bunnies. We will be back next week. We'll be back next week. Sponsored by Truly.
Oh my
We'll be back next week.
Dang,
Consuming
girl.
Truly. We hope you have a great evening.
Shout out to Major Street.
I like that.
And
That move was nice.
have a great evening. Thanks for hanging out tonight. We
See you
appreciate
next
it.
week,
If you
guys.
haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. We would
Like
appreciate
and
it so much.
subscribe.
We're talking about lots of stuff.
Kentucky mushrooms. I was gonna say,
Good evening, everyone. Good night.
oh man.
Until next time.